Yo, what's up? Welcome back to Let's Chop It Up. Another great week. How my brothers doing?
You already know.
We good.
How was your week, Rod? Anything exciting, brother? Anything?
You know what? I didn't have much to say, much exciting to say about this week. Just spent time with family as much as possible. Just always trying to stay positive, trying to release positivity in the world, and it was pretty much a slow motion week. Not much to be said. Just enjoying my time with you guys right now, though, man. This is the highlight of my week.
How about you, Rodney?
Yeah. Nothing much exciting. I mean, I got a lot of things done. It was a little bit of a productive week for me as far as business wise, but everything is good. My son decided to pop up and surprise everybody, and he popped up and came home for the weekend. So he's here now. So we're gonna get a good meal because he's upstairs cooking. So yeah. But other than that, everything else good.
Cool. How was your week, Kelvin?
Everything was great, man. You know how you move to new levels in life, and once you can't move to the next level until you master one level. So I have mastered not having money. I've completed it. I have mastered being broke. I've done that. So now I think that the arrow's pointing up. Also, I'm extremely excited about coming to America. Haven't been to Zamunda since '88, and now it's time to go back. So I'm ready. But D, I'm excited about tonight's show, and I'm excited about life.
It'd have been ill if Wakanda and what's the place again? Zamunda had a beef. That would be kind of ill. But
neighboring city. That would have been hot. That'd have been hot.
But my week was cool. It was interesting. It was fun. It went fast. I did something different, guys. I didn't even tell you about this on Wednesday, brother. I got my chest waxed.
Whoa!
Oh,
whoa!
Yo, the first one to hear it.
Why?
Yeah, yes. Listen, I went to this company, Margot Priestley. They also do waxing now too. Besides head wraps, they try to do some wax and stuff. So I got my chest waxed this weekend.
Oh,
my BDBs were getting too strong.
All right. The question is, was that your idea?
Kinda. It was getting too crazy, man.
You're killing me here. You killing me here, brother.
It coming out my neck. It was getting kind of crazy, man.
Oh man, you gotta take care.
My beard I had to shave down last week.
Little self-care is important, man.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to TT's Butter Company, man. I got that. I ordered something. I came. I got that sweet and salt scrub.
Whoa, that stuff is intoxicating.
I'm ready.
Yeah, you're ready.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm ready.
Yo, for the audience that doesn't know what we're talking about, TT's has this really great sugar scrub that she sells, and the smell on a woman is amazing after they use it. So it's kind of arousing, like when my wife puts it on. I mean, it kind of sets it off.
Yeah, my wife and I did a little unboxing, man. You know what I mean? It came in a nice box. It was well prepared. It was nicely put together, man. It was very professional. And
that's what's up.
When you open it, you just instantly smell it, man.
I'm gonna put some of that on my chest. But but in weekly news, we have we've seen over 500,000 coronavirus deaths. We surpassed that this week. So I mean, what's your brother's thoughts on that? And over the last, it almost will be a year next month that we really started tackling this thing.
Yeah. We lost a lot of people to COVID.
You remember when initially, when Trump said if we lose 200,000 people, we'll be fortunate, and people was like, that's ridiculous. And I mean, the comment was so dismissive, and it just felt disrespectful. And now looking back, man, I mean, to lose 500,000 people is just tragic. I mean, to lose one person is tragic, but I would have never thought in a million years to have something kill 500,000 people in this way, So it's tough, man. My heart goes out to all of the families and just every associate. We all know somebody who knows somebody who passed.
Yeah.
Just tough.
And it's just
I wonder if he was being back to the Trump thing. I don't want to get on the Trump thing, but I'm wondering if now, man, if he was being dismissive of if he was just being prescient, man, because it was kind of like getting us ready for it. Because who knew 500,000?
With him, I think it's dismissive.
Of course.
The tiebreaker goes.
He don't care about nobody.
But I think you can be both. You know what I mean? I just like it was kind of predictive as well. You know what I mean? When you look at it, because look at where we are. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's
well, you know what it is, Derek, and I agree with you. The only thing is when you say if we lose 200,000 people, I think we did a good job. The question is, who are those people?
Yeah.
Like if it's your cousin or son or somebody like that, then it's like, how do you choose that? So it just seemed like it minimized life. You know what I mean? But he probably was right. What I learned a long time ago is just because something is right doesn't mean it needs to be said. Some things are better off left unspoken, and I think that may have been the way it was phrased. Would have been one of those things.
Yeah, and like Lisa said, that's only 500,000 deaths in the United States.
Yeah, just the United States.
That's the United States.
I think the total cases is what, 28.5 million.
Wow.
Of cases of COVID we have.
Wow.
And just the United States. Just the United States.
Yeah. And then some little lighter note, but still COVID related. We had did you guys see the ladies imposter and the grandmas so they could get in the front of the line to get the COVID vaccine shot first?
Yeah. They came in there looking like the Golden Girls. They should have gave them a shot that would have gave them diarrhea for the last 6 months. That's what they should have gave them when they found out who they were.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that was just.
Come on, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like there's people that need that shot a lot more than other people, and people are taking advantage. But and I kind of feel like there's probably, there could be probably doctors out there cutting lines for people for extra pay too. Because there was a couple of Beverly Hills doctors that said they were offered extra money to give certain people the COVID vaccine. So definitely, if people see opportunity, they're going to take it.
Now, what I did hear was I heard somebody here in the New York area say that some of the places, rather than let it expire, I guess after there's an expiration regarding refrigeration. And so some people at the end of whatever day that is or cycle, rather than them throw it out, they make it available to anybody who's in close proximity. So one person that was young said they were able to get the shot because they just hung around, and they, rather than throw it out, they got it. So people would be willing to wait like that. To me, at the end of the day, you trying to get that shot illegally is taking it away from somebody more deserving at the moment. And I think that's what's really upsetting to them. And I mean, they got a slap on the wrist to me. I thought there should have been, kind of a precedent set with them. They just sent them away and told them they're blocked out from getting it their regular time, I think.
Yeah, but it just shows you, like, and like I said, in my neighborhood, in August Moore High School, when they started opening up, it was nothing but white people. None of them live in my neighborhood, so it's like we still seeing that across the board. I mean, Jamie lives in Tampa. Jamie was telling us about before, like in the hardest neighborhoods before with people of color living at, you have white people coming in there getting this access before us. And they were
how is that? Is it representative of the neighborhood, or it has nothing to do with the neighborhood, the actual center?
What where they were giving the shots at?
So yeah, your neighborhood, August Martin is in a predominantly black neighborhood. Yeah, you're saying that the line is predominantly white people receiving the shot. It
just started changing to a mixed crowd.
Okay, well, how did they determine that? Is it just that these people could be from Bensonhurst and they're sent there, or are they taking it from somebody who's?
I think when they first sent it out, they didn't give like for zip codes. Now I think with the new one with just got for for York College and you got Medgar Evers College, they're going by zip code and you have to have proof. But before that, it seemed like because they have access. Remember, some of our neighbors, and we could probably, when we talk to our guests about this, some of our neighbors don't have internet access. They don't have young people to know how to work it out. Then also when they call on the phone lines are always jammed up. Mm-hmm. So certain people have better access to certain technology. They was able to get on board first and then get in the lines first before all of us in our neighborhoods. And people that are dying more of us on the front lines doing healthcare services, public transportation, police department, fire department, all the EMS. So, and it really goes to show you, like, we still have discrepancies in racism, and when it comes even to just getting the doggone shot, and it's really sad.
Mm.
Well, racism and or prejudices don't take a break during the pandemic. I mean, it's just, it's still center stage. But at the end of the day, I'll say there's certain things I would be very, very afraid to do, and this is something you don't play with. So I just hope people can find some civility to make sure that it's kind of like just an orderly fashion thing. We gotten this far. Just please, everybody, stay the course.
Yeah. So now, and another one thing that with recent times, I hope we don't have another George Floyd situation come to the U.S. and how we did last year in the summertime. But It was a no-knock warrant issued in Kentucky where a young man lost his life again to the hands of police. Any thoughts on no-knock warrants? And I want to start this question. I want to lead off with this question, giving it to Rod, because you're the one that have the years in law enforcement. How do you feel, my brother, about no-knock warrants?
Well, the thing is, I'm going to explain what I don't know if everybody knows what a no-knock warrant is. A no-knock warrant is basically you go to the courts and you get a search warrant where you're allowed to execute that search warrant between a certain amount of hours, right? Most likely it's early in the morning where people are asleep, and you don't have to knock or announce yourself as the police before you hit that door. All right. So the thing is, the no-knock warrant is used for the element of surprise. They don't want people to see them coming or whatever. Yes, I have done no-knock warrants myself. I mean, I've never had any incidents where anything is going wrong. It's definitely based on how much research that those officers have done on that place. Sometimes the officers they don't do their due diligence, and sometimes they hit the wrong place, the wrong house, or the wrong apartment. You know what I'm saying? And that's when no-knock warrants become a bad thing, because they're not doing their due diligence to make sure that they got the right apartment, the right house, the right location. Those are the most of the time that no-knock warrants go wrong. But I do feel in law enforcement that they need some sort of element of surprise when dealing with criminals. You don't want to let people know you're coming, because things can turn very ugly very quickly. But in this situation, I'm not completely educated about what happened with this situation. I think they're still looking into it, but pretty much that's how I see no-knock warrants. They're just based on the element of surprise. That's all.
So my thing is like this is my whole thing with the police. And Miranda, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You already noticed this person's supposed to be at this address, right? Say he's at 123 Jefferson Street. And you know he's going to be there. This is where you already have the information. Now, when you're surround the house already, have a helicopter if they can, and why do you have to knock and just... Well,
the thing is, actually, it's supposed to be, that's why I tell you about the due diligence of the officers. Technically, before you do a search warrant on location, it's supposed to be set on and watched. That's how they do it in New York. Like, that location's been watched since the night before you're going to hit it, to make sure, and you're supposed to take notes on how many people are going in and out of the location, how many people are in there before the warrant was executed, and how many people left or what have you. So like I said, sometimes, not all the time, the officers do what they're supposed to do, and that's how sometimes these mistakes happen.
I think.
But go ahead.
No, and I was just wondering. You can tell me if I'm wrong. As I recall, like I think no-knock warrants were originally for, like, let's say, active shooter or something where someone's life was in danger originally when they were put together. And I think it kind of turned into something else where it just became almost like, all right, there's drug activity going on in the home and or in a place, and then we'll enter on that, and so I don't know if, as I understand it's that, but what's troubling about Kentucky is they also have, I believe they're a stand your ground state as well, so let's say
I don't know if Kentucky's a stand your ground state.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I heard that they were,
but
yeah,
no,
I know Florida is, but
the execution of no-knock.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kentucky is, but I know that Florida is definitely a stand your ground law. But the thing is, no-knock warrants are executed to basically get inside a premise that has drugs, guns, some sort of illegal activity going on. That's what no-knock warrants were pretty much for. Pretty much anything with active shooters, that's basically, you don't need a warrant for that. Then you go in and you got to do what you got to do. Okay. But mostly, nine times out of 10, they get information from somebody that has been inside the location, as people say, a snitch, and basically they go back to the police, tell that this stuff is in there, or they've seen it, and then they execute the warrant. And that's basically what it is. And like I said, no-knock warrant is because they don't want to broadcast that they are coming. So that's the element of surprise by not knocking and hit that door.
Gotcha. Right? So in other news, our brother Jay-Z, billionaire Jay-Z, has struck a new a liquor deal with Hennessy. I think is Hennessy bought into his into this deal, I believe, something like that. For a couple of M's, So what do you think about that, guys? Jay-Z teaming up with Hennessy.
More money,
more
man.
money.
Yeah, I mean,
Distribution from them, aren't they? Isn't he? So it's like you got I think he bought. I think he had the company himself, and I think what happened was he wound up with distribution from them. So now he's got that national, that worldwide distribution, man. So he's about to get
that's the hardest thing is for you to get a distributor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think Jay-Z and Dame Dash owned the liquor before, but they couldn't distribute it.
Yeah.
They, I think it was only sold in 40 Club. But the distribution deal is everything. If you can't get that liquor all over the place, I mean, you can't make a lot of money. So I mean, Hennessy, you know how we always talk about Hennessy. You can't lose with Hennessy.
No,
can't lose at all.
I think you know what I think what they're doing is giving a good model to you think about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Both of them, I think, are just high school graduates, hardworking people, have been showing people different ways to leverage their success and popularity and making excellent business moves. And I think it's phenomenal that they're able to do that. And I think they're making such wonderful steps that it's inspiring other people. One thing, which is on a side note, that I'm a little surprised that they're allowing their daughter to be as exposed as she is. That I'm surprised that she's already in the industry. She's already an entertainer herself, and I'm a little surprised by that. I thought they would guard her a little better than that because when it comes to your childhood, obviously you can't turn that back. But you look at their children are going to be managing an empire one day, and I just think it's a phenomenal story from where they came from and where they are now. So kudos to them.
So I think like as we all know, Beyonce, Jay-Z are brand themselves, and most likely they're probably going to do the same thing with their kids, where pretty much once they create you as a brand, then you can sell anything, So because you can't be. So now basically they're brand themselves. He buys into a liquor company, and he can market this liquor himself, just taking photos with it, putting in videos, commercials, whatever. It's going to blow. That's what everybody's doing now. They're tying entertainers to liquor brands, and they're blowing as a result of it. So I think that's going to be no different.
Price always sells, man.
Yeah. So what's about to come? America's governor, brother. I want to ask you guys a question. How you feel about our man Cuomo right now, governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo right now? What are your thoughts? It's looking kind of shady for him. Like you messed up the thing with the nursing homes. They're saying he's been touching a little booty, maybe a little look here and there. So what do you guys think?
All right. So this is the thing. I mean, when it comes to, first of all, I think it was a bad optic to write the book about managing the pandemic while the pandemic is still going on. I think that just seemed a little self-serving, and I think that may have kind of drew a lot of negative attention. And ultimately, like you just said, once you take on that moniker of America's governor, much like Giuliani took it on as America's mayor, I just think it gives you a lot more scrutiny and a lot more eyes. As far as him being accused of inappropriate sexual misconduct, I think we still have to give people, we still have to kind of take a wait and see approach. There should be some due process, but I will say this just from the outside, it is starting to look really, really bad. I mean, I don't know, some people say where there's smoke, there's fire. I can just tell you it's starting to get warm. It's starting to heat up, and so
burning.
it's looking bad. So I would hope, because remember, this was a person that initially we thought had his sight set on the White House, and the Republicans are definitely, they're looking for this fall. And I'll be honest with you, they're saying a lot of Democrats are not backing him either. So a lot of people are saying that
they're pulling away.
I think that was the play. I think that was it politically, man. I don't like to get into conspiracy theories and all of that, but I think there are plenty of people who are rather gleeful about his the dent being put in his image right now, on both sides of the aisle, actually.
Well, if you give people ammunition, they're going to use it.
Oh, absolutely. And that's politics.
Sure.
That is politics.
But I think reason he wrote the book at that time, though, Kelvin, not to say it was the right time, but because his approval ratings were so high at the time.
Yeah,
makes sense.
That's why he wrote the book at that time. And how all this thing came out, because Letitia James came out with her numbers and they didn't match his numbers. That's how this thing got rolling.
Letitia James does not play. I mean, she does not play. She has been working her way up. Now, I'll say this, just for anybody out there that's listening, out of being respectful. For instance, now all the stuff that you see about Beyonce and stuff like that, you have never ever seen anything regarding she and I quote in our relationship. Never. Because I'm saying, just as a man, I want to have that type of respect. So I always try to keep that out the press. And we both true. Y'all never saw anything with us, right? So that's what I'm saying. See how that,
we didn't see anything at all with you guys.
Thank you. That's the compliment. That's the compliment to me. There are times TMZ wanted me to, spill the tea, but I wasn't gonna do that. But I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're a respectful guy, Kelvin. You're not gonna. Yeah, you're not gonna blow
raised
up
right.
Like that. I know. The guy's a class act. He's not gonna kiss himself. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about Shaft.
So let me. So like I want to talk about little sports. We brothers, and it's like a barbershop talk. Like it's talks. I think Kyrie Irving came out and said it looked changing the logo of the NBA to Kobe Bryant as the logo. And he said because Black kings have built this industry, built the NBA, which I totally agree with him on that. What are you guys' thoughts on Kobe Bryant becoming the logo of the NBA?
I don't agree. I do agree. I recognize the contributions that African Americans have made to the league. But if anybody were going to get it, obviously you can't do the Jordan logo, who made the game international. But you have to think about Bird and Magic. And if anybody, to me, the greatest Laker ever is Magic Johnson, in my estimation. And I would not give it to Kobe simply because he died. I don't think the logo is based on a memorial. You know what I mean? And so as a result, Kobe did a lot of great things. Kobe was an exceptional talent. So when I say this, I don't want to hear from Snoop Dogg. I don't want nobody to try to come at me. I'm just saying, I do think that if anybody, and Jerry West is open to somebody changing it. Jerry West went to 9 finals and won 1. Was an MVP once, even on a losing team in the finals. He's a tremendous. Jerry West is executive, as good as executive as he was player. But I do think if anybody, I would give it to Magic.
Well, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. I mean, Magic to me, and I love Magic, but much of his fame and much of his mystique was so tied to Larry Bird. You know what I mean? And I don't think that. I think Kobe gets a lot of credit for for being the man after Jordan. He kind of carried it, like Jordan set the stage, and then Kobe and I can make the argument that Kobe kind of carried it. You know what I mean? Onward. You know what I mean? He just took it, and not that you can't necessarily get higher than that, but he definitely was a good steward of being the face of the NBA, and he also gets a lot of credit for taking it international. He was huge in China, you know what I mean? And you have to look at it in those terms as well. So, I mean, I get what you're saying with regard to Jerry West, and maybe it is time, or maybe we can kind of consider changing it around. I wish Kyrie kind of had, and not that I'm saying he isn't wrong, but I wish he kind of hadn't said it the way he said it. You know what I mean? Because there are going to be certain people who are going to take offense to that. And I don't know, those people buy tickets too.
But that's the Kyrie brand. That's the Kyrie brand.
Yeah, I understand.
If there's a way to say something wrong, he's mad.
And that's his brand, but I don't necessarily think that,
I don't think he said anything wrong.
No, listen.
Listen, you call a spade.
Right. Actually, listen, you can listen. Being right and saying a thing, it's two different things. You know what I mean? So I'm not arguing whether or not.
I think the issue is what, and I think if I'm not wrong, I think what Derek is saying is once you bring the racial element in, because you can actually make a case for this without bringing the racial element into it. Yeah. You can actually make a case. So once you do that, then you automatically have some people saying you just want to do it because he's black and because he died. Whereas if you're just like, I think he was such a great player, but because now the race thing becomes part of the story.
And it takes over the story.
It does. So some people, some detractors with that, whether it's right or wrong, you still have it.
No, I agree. I agree with what you're saying, Kelvin, about whether Kobe Bryant should be the new logo or whatever. But I do agree that it should be changed. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jerry West was back in his time. He was a great player, but there are so many players now that have achieved so much more than Jerry West. You know what I'm saying? And I think the logo should reflect the dynamics of the league. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, Jerry West was like, what year was that? Like that was like in the 60s, right?
Yeah,
it was a while back.
Yeah, a while back. So I mean, like, there's too many other players that, like I said, achieve more than Jerry West, and I do think it should be changed. I think it should reflect the league.
And the reason why I say you can talk about race is because we talk about the NBA. NBA are all the sports were first on always addressing the racial issue.
Correct.
So we got to like it's the elephant in the room.
Yeah,
so you got to talk about those kind of things. We got to talk about ownership in how many owners are black in the NBA, right? You get those kind of things. You look at managerial issues like going on, even when you got coaches, the changing the guard when it's like why Mark Jackson don't have a job.
Well, look, but would you give it to Bill Russell over Kobe? What I'm saying is
why? Because NBA when Bill Russell was playing was still on tape delay. Magic Johnson, I can see your argument because when Magic and Larry was going at it, they started playing the games live. Well, Jordan they started making golden games more live. Bill Russell, they couldn't get his mama to watch the game on
TV. Nobody saw him play. Nobody saw him play, man.
But do you do this if Kobe Bryant's alive right now?
Yeah, I think you still could say that. I think you can still make the same
You
argument.
put Kobe Bryant over Michael Jordan.
Only reason Jordan, like Rob, we talked before. Jordan already has a brand, and he already has a logo. So he has a logo. So you got to you take Mike out of it. I could give the argument for Kobe and Magic. I could see that argument, but when Derek said that, it made me think Magic. A lot of his stuff was tied to Larry Bird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then you got to also realize too that Larry Bird and Magic Johnson duo that brought NBA back.
No, it did.
And that was back. And the end of the line, what was it? Race.
Yeah, correct. And at the end of the line, you're right. They loved that they had the great white hope that played basketball against this great black athlete. They that's what that was with Larry Bird.
Even LA, that's true. Even LA versus Boston, you had the limelight of Hollywood, and you had this kind of gritty, Eastern, cold weather city. And so, yeah, I think it was,
Yeah.
Well, the thing is too, you can still change the logo of the NBA and not make it a person. You do realize that too.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
But like I said, like still having Jerry West as the logo of the thing, I think it's time to give it a change. That's just my personal opinion. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of athletes we can name all day that have achieved a lot more than Jerry West.
Right. I say, wait, unpopular opinion. Wait until LeBron James retires and makes him the NBA logo. He's the most complete basketball player.
Don't even respond to that. That's my nephew. That's my nephew doing that. He's trolling us because he and I have the.
I see the last name.
He's trolling us because we have this magic. I mean, the Michael Jordan LeBron debate forever. And Kobe, by the way, is his guy. He believes Kobe is the greatest player to ever breathe air on this planet.
He was pretty good.
Well, hey, he's 23 years old. That's what they're supposed to do.
You know what? When I think about when we have this conversation, right? I think about how when I say that Jerry West, there's so many other people that achieved more than Jerry West, and then he gets the honor of being like the NBA logo. It reminds me of Carl Lewis, what he achieved in the Olympics compared to what Bruce Jenner achieved, and how big Bruce Jenner was. He just won, I think, one medal, if I'm not mistaken, one medal in the decathlon, where Carl Lewis just destroyed the Olympics and never got the clout that he got because white America wanted to market Bruce, and that's basically it. It's a similarity there. They don't have to achieve as much as we do in order to be successful.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's true. I mean, that is what it is. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we're talking about legendary players. I'm just saying, I don't even know what a Kobe. Someone mentioned the Mamba mentality, which is so true because I think that has transcended basketball. And I mean, I think there are different ways. I would love to see, one of the awards, Rookie of the Year, MVP, or something like that, named after him. But I do think it's time to change the logo. I think it's a lot of branding has changed. You have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That like you said, if it's a 60s and 70s logo, it's time because the handle that Jerry West had, these boys today, forget it. I mean, this
correct. And plus, the shorts were too small back then too.
But what they're doing now, man, amazing.
Yeah. So one thing we forgot to do, and we are like the barbershop talk, is talk about one of the great contributors to hip hop music was our dear brother Prince Marky D, who passed away suddenly from a heart attack at the age of 52, a day before his birthday. Any thoughts? Any time, the first time ever hearing the Fat Boys record, anything like that? Anybody want to say real quick?
I go back to Crush Groove. Crush Groove.
Crush Groove is the first thing came to my mind as well.
Yeah,
Remember when you saw Crush Groove for the first time, man, in the movies, and then what happened when you came back to school?
I couldn't even get in the theater. It was sold out everywhere. Crush Groove.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing was the songs that Run DMC did in Crush Groove were actually old already.
Yeah,
they were actually old. Those songs had been out, and then they did the movie. But the nation was so starved, the young people were so starved for this new movement that I remember my sister got a ticket, and she was able to see it, and I couldn't get in. And she was in there with her friends and stuff. But I mean, you just heard about it. But Run DMC was just, I mean, we had never seen anything quite like it. Yeah. You know, I think Curtis Blow said that. He said that the first rap star was. I heard the first rap star was Curtis Blow. First superstar was LL. But in between there, Run DMC to me should be giving credit to me as possibly the greatest rap group. To me, they are, because to me, their production, Rick Rubin had them doing stuff in 83.
Disorderlies.
You know, disorderlies. But no, but Prince Markie D, the funny thing was, I never really thought he was that fat back in the day in comparison to the other.
Yeah.
He was the least skinny fat. He was the skinny fat boy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.